put your phones inside your bag. No phones on the table. Alright. Anyway, everyone, I'd like you to look at these. We'll be having a listening to classes over. Please do not use your phone for that. I'd like to explain just a little for that listening. I would like to help you for the listening because some of you are still having problems with the listening. Now, everybody, for number one, the question is, how many words do we need to answer for the part one? How many? One. Or we will write a number. Now, today, the first listening section is you'll be able to hear a local food shops, okay? So the first one is where to go. All right, so where will they go? So we have here Kite Place near the blank. So where is it located? Near the blank. So what are our keywords here? For number one? Sandra. Kite. Kite Place. Near. You need to encircle the near. Where is it? Elisa, are you with us? Yes, we're there. Next, where to go? In a fish market. Now, in a fish market, it's across the... Oh, wait. Of course, our answer for number one is a place. Therefore, it is a noun. Number two, of course, it is also a place. Therefore, the answer is a noun. Cross the blank and turn right. The keywords, fish market, cross, turn right. So cross where? Next one, number three, best to go before. Before where? So it's also a place. So therefore, our possible answer there is, no, it's not a place. I'm sorry. It's a time. Very good job. It's a time because best to go before we have your PM. What time? All right. Keywords. Sandra, what are keywords? Go? No. No. We're still number three. Best. Before. Earlier, PM, okay, before closing time. Organic shop, okay, so it's called blank, number four. What is our possible answer there? It's a place, so therefore it's a noun, all right, called. The organic shop called, what is the organic shop called? What is the name of the organic shop? Next one, we're not yet there. Tyler, we're still in page one. Next one. Number six, in the supermarket, take a blank. What? You will take what? Take a... It's also take a blank minibus, number 289. Next one, for 7 and 8, complete the table below and write only one word. Okay, only one word, so no more than 2 words. Now, we're going to talk about the shopping. There are 2 columns there. 2 columns there. We have 3 rows. The first one, which is the shopping market. The second is to buy. And the third one is other ideas. The fish market, what to buy? A dozen of prawns and a handful of blank. It's a type of seaweed. So what is it? It's a type of handful of what? Next one, in the nut shop is the organic shop. Beans and a blank. So it's a food as well. For dessert, all right? Spices, other ideas. Spices and blank, it's a mix for ingredients. Next one, for the bakery shop, Oh, we have here, they will buy a brown loaf. And for other ideas, a blank tart. What kind of tart is it? All right, next one. Part 2, 11 to 16. What information is given about each of the following festival workshop? Choose 6 answers, okay? 6 answers from the box and write the correct letter from A to H. Next, from 11 to 16. Here are the informations. Number 1, A, involves painting and drawing. So it's painting and drawing. Keywords. For letter A, Alisa, paintings and drawings. Letter B, will be led by a prize-winning author, Kyler. Keywords for letter B. Huh? Letter B. Led, prize-winning author. C, is aimed at the children with disability. Disability, children. D, involves a drama activity. Drama activities. Are you underlining your keywords? Underline. Explore unhappy feeling. Sandra. I'm sorry, it's aimed for a specific group. Huh? Specific age group. When we say specific age group, it refers to ages. Explores unhappy feeling. Sandra. Explores unhappy feeling. Raises awareness of a particular culture. Alisa. Rises awareness, particular culture. Here are the visual workshop. First one is superheroes. Next one, just do it. 13, count on me. 14, speak up. 15, jump for joy. 16 is sticks and stones. So which do you think these are the information for each festival workshop? 17 and 18, how many answers do you need to give? Sandra, how many answers do you need to give? 2. So therefore you need to circle 2 as possible. Which 2 reasons does the speaker give recommending alive and kicking? Therefore our keywords here, reasons, recommending, alive, kicking. A, it will appeal to the both boys and girls. Appeal, boys, girls. The author is well-known. Author, well-known. It has colorful instructions. Colorful instructions. Funny. Deals with an important topic. Deals, important topic. 19 to 20, how many letters should you give? Answer. Alisa. How many answers you need to give? 2. Now, which of the 2 pieces of advice does the speaker give to parents about reading? What are keywords here? Kyla. 19 to 20. No. Advice. What else? Speaker. Kyler, give yours. Give yours, Kyler. Keywords. Speaker, parents, reading. All right. We have here A. Encourage children to write down new vocabs. Keyword, Sandra. A. Keywords. Encourage children write new vocabulary. B. Allow children to listen to audiobooks. Children listen audiobooks. C. Get recommendations from librarians. Recommendations, librarians. D. Give children a choice about what they read. Children, choice, read. Only read aloud to children until they can read independently. Read aloud, read independently. Now for part 3, 21 to 25, you need to choose one answer only. Science experiment for year 12 students. 21. How does Claire feel about the students in her year 12 science class? Keywords. Sandra. Huh? 21. Claire. Feel. Year 12 science. Worried, challenged, frustrated. Worried is something like they're thinking too much about it. Challenged, pressured, frustrated, tired. 21. How does Jake react to Claire's suggestion about the experiment based on the children's diet? Jake reacts. Experiment-based, children's diet. He is concerned with the result. He feels some of the data might be difficult to obtain. He suspects that the conclusion might be upsetting. 23. What problem do they agree may be involved in the experiment? Problem. Alright, problem, agree, involved, experiments, animals. And the results may not be applied to humans. It may be complicated to get permission. Students may not be happy about animal experiment. What question do they decide an experiment should address? Question, decide, experiment, should address. Are mice capable, many mice, controlling their food intake? Does it increase in sugar-lead health problems? How much do supplements or different kinds affect health? 23. Claire might also consider doing another experiment involving other types of food supplement, different genetic strains of mice, varying amounts of exercise. For questions 26 and 30, I'd like you to complete the flowchart below. Flowchart. Choose 5 answers from below. Write the correct. Letter A to H next to 26 to 30. A. Size. B. Escape. C. Age. D. Water. E. Cereal. F. Calculation. G. Changes. H. Color. Keywords for the first one, 26. Choose mice which are all the same. Mice, all the same. Divide the mice into groups, each with a different. Divide mice to groups, different. Next one is feed group B the same but also sugar contained. Group B, sugar contained. Place them in the weighing chamber to prevent. Weighing chamber, prevent. Do all necessary. What? Necessary. 31 to 40. Complete the notes below with one word only. Now we're going to talk about microplastics. Where microplastics come? Fibers from some blank during washing. The breakdowns, large pieces of plastic, waste from industry, the actions of vehicles, effects of microplastics. They cause injuries to the blank of wildlife. To the blank of wildlife. What is our possible answer for 32? 32. To the blanks of wildlife and affect their digestive system. We are talking already with their digestive system. Therefore, our answer for 32 is Jack. What do you think is the answer for number 32? It's on? We're talking about digestive system already. Therefore, it's on noun. To be specific, since we are talking already with digestive system, therefore it refers to parts of the body. So which part of the body it affects that? They enter the food chain in a bottle and tap water blank and seafood. What? Blank. Tap water blank and is seafood. It's also a noun. They may affect human health, but they already banned, not allowed, for cleaning products and blanks. So since we've already talked about cleaning products, therefore our possible answer for the 35 is also for parts of beauty products, for cleaning products. What would it be? Microplastics enter the soil through an air and drain, and what else? Where? We are talking about air, rain, and alright. For microplastics in soil, a study of Angela Ruskin University. Earthworms are important because they add blank. What do they add to the soil? Right? It's also a noun. The study aimed earthworms, important, add. Alright? The study aimed to find whether microplastic in earthworms affect the blank of plants. What? It's the process of plants. What process is it? Alright? The blank of plants. Microplastic, earthworm, affects. Next one. The study found that microplastic caused the blank loose in earthworm. What? It loses what? The earthworm. Fewer seeds or germinate. A rise of level in blank in the soil. What? Changes to the soil damage by both ecosystem and it damages what? Now everybody here, I will not be accepting your paper if there are left blanks. Do not leave a blanks on your answers. Make notes as much as possible because at the end of listening, you may be able to transfer your answers and right after that you may choose which one is the best answer for that. Once again, I will not allow your paper to be submitted without or if there is a blank. Let's do listening now. Make notes as much as possible. You have 10 minutes for your answers.
Test 3. This is the IELTS
Only one.
test. You will hear a number of different recordings and will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. Part 1. You will hear 2 neighbours who live in an apartment block talking about shopping for food. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hi Shannon, how are you settling into your new flat?
Really well, thanks.
You look like you're going shopping.
Yes, I am. My cousins are coming to stay for a couple of days and I have to cook for them.
Well, there are plenty of places to buy food in Kite Place. It's the area by the harbour.
Oh, okay. I'll find that on the map. Thanks.
What sort of food do you need to get?
To look at questions 1 to 6. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hi Shannon, how are you settling into your new flat?
Really well, thanks.
You look like you're going shopping.
Yes, I am. My cousins are coming to stay for a couple of days and I have to cook for them.
Well, there are plenty of places to buy food in Kite Place. It's the area by the harbour.
Oh, okay. I'll find that on the map. Thanks.
What sort of food do you need to get?
Well, neither of them eats meat, but they both like fish.
Well, there's a really good fish market there.
Oh, great. Where is it exactly?
It's at the far end of Kite Place. So you have to go over the bridge, and then it's on the right.
Okay. Is it open all day?
It doesn't close until 4, but I'd recommend going earlier than that. It does run out of some things.
Oh, I don't want that to happen.
As long as you get there by 3:30, you should be fine. It's only 11 now, so plenty of time.
Right?
Do you need to buy vegetables too?
I do, and I want to avoid all the plastic packaging in the supermarket.
Well, there's a really nice organic shop there. Now, what's it called? It's the name of a flower. I know, it's Rose.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Yeah, it sells vegetables and quite a lot of other stuff.
And where's that?
Well, as you reach the market, you'll see a big grey building on your left. I think it used to be a warehouse. Anyway, now it's a restaurant upstairs, but the ground floor has 2 shops either side of the entrance, and it's the one on the left.
That's easy enough.
You can't miss it. There's also a big sign on the pavement, so you can look for that.
Fine. I guess if I need anything else, I'll have to go to the supermarket.
Yeah, you should be able to get everything you need. But there's a minibus that goes to the supermarket if you need it. It's purple, and the number is 289.
Thanks. That's great.
rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
So, what do you need to get at the fish market? The salmon is always very good, and the shellfish.
I'm going to make a curry, I think, and I need about 12 prawns for that.
They'll have plenty of those.
Okay.
Have you ever tried samphire?
No? What's that?
It's a type of seaweed. I just asked for a handful, and you fry it in butter. It's delicious.
Oh, I might try that. How do you spell it?
It's SAMPHIRE.
Great. It's always good to try something different.
Yeah.
I'll see what beans they have in the organic shop, and I think I'll get something for dessert there.
How about a mango?
I'm not sure. They're not always ripe. I'd prefer a melon. It's bigger too.
Good idea. The owner also sells a lot of spices there that you can put in a curry, and things like coconut.
Oh, that's very helpful. I'll have a look.
No problem.
I know bread doesn't really go with curry, but I always like to have some in case.
As I said, all the bread is homemade, and there's lots of variety. I like the brown bread myself.
Sounds good.
There's still other things there too.
Like cakes? I love chocolate cake.
Well, not that. But they have a whole range of tarts, and the best are the strawberry ones.
Perfect. Hopefully I won't even have to go to the supermarket.
That is the end of part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 1. Part 2. You will hear the organizer of a children's book festival giving some information about it on a local radio program. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
The Children's Book Festival is coming up again soon, and here to tell us all about it is the festival's organizer, Jenny Morgan. So tell us what we can expect this year, Jenny.
Well, as usual, we've got 5 days of action-packed, exciting events for children, with writers coming from all over the country getting involved. Just to give you an idea of what's on offer in the workshops, first of all, there's a very special event called Superheroes. This is a chance for deaf children to share their reading experiences with author Madeline Gordon, who is herself hearing impaired. Just Do It is a practical workshop led by the well-known illustrator Mark Keane. He'll take participants on a magical journey to faraway lands with an opportunity for aspiring actors to do some role play. Count on Me is an inspiring and entertaining look at the issues of friendship for 13 to 14-year-olds. It looks at some of the friendships described in popular books and asks participants to compare these with their own experiences. Speak Up is part of a series of workshops on the subject of mental health. This is a creative writing workshop encouraging children to describe situations where young people experience loneliness. A recent survey revealed that children can be lonely even when they're at home with their families. Jump for Joy, as many of you will know, is the heartwarming best-selling story by Nina Karen about a young girl's trip to visit her relatives in India. It recently received the gold medal at the Waterford Awards. Nina will get children to celebrate the word joy by writing a poem. Sticks and Stones is a beautifully illustrated picture book for young readers about a community who organise an African Caribbean festival to help local children learn about their Jamaican roots. This will be a musical event where children will have the chance to play steel drums. This is bound to be very popular, so please book as soon as possible.
Before you hear the rest of the programme, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
Thanks, Jane. That all sounds really interesting. I'm just wondering if you have a favourite book you could recommend for our readers?
It's hard to choose, but Alive and Kicking is definitely worth mentioning. You won't have heard of the writer as it's her first book, which is really impressive. It's basically the teenage diary of a boy from Somalia who comes to live in the UK. It deals with the serious issue of immigration and all the challenges the boy has to face at school and with the language barrier, etc. Usually, books like this are quite sad, but this one actually made me cry with laughter. On each page, there are simple but hilarious black and white stick drawings of the boy with his friends and teachers. At the end of each diary entry, there are new English words the boy learns each day, which may help develop some children's vocabulary.
I think my kids would enjoy that. What about any advice for parents on how to encourage their children to read more?
Well, this is something I get asked about a lot. There are so many distractions for kids these days that it can be hard to find time for reading. One thing I'd say is to make time to sit down with your child and share books with them. A lot of parents give up reading aloud to their children as soon as they learn to read independently, but this is a mistake. It's good to read more advanced books to them, as it helps to develop their vocabulary. If you don't have time for this, then let them listen to audiobooks. Often they'll want to read books they listen to for themselves. I think it's a good idea to make a mental note of the type of books your child is reading. Often they just read the same genre all the time, which can get a bit boring. You can introduce new authors and genres to them. Librarians should be able to help you with this.
Well, Jenny, I think that's it.
That is the end of part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 2. Part 3. You will hear a trainee science teacher called Claire talking about her practical teaching work to another trainee called Jake. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Jake. How are you getting on with the practical teaching?
It's it's harder than I expected, but I've got some great classes. How about you?
You're brilliant. I'm really struggling with my Year 12 science class.
Are they hard to control?
Well, I don't have discipline problems as such. It's just that they don't seem to think that science has anything to do with their lives. It's depressing. They listen to what I say, and I gave them a test last week, and the results weren't too bad. But there's no real engagement.
Right.
And as part of my teaching practice, I have to design an experiment for them to do. I was wondering about something on the children's diets, asking them to record what they eat and maybe linking it to their state of health.
Let's think. So your methodology would involve the children recording what they eat, okay, but you'd also need to have access to the children's medical records, and I don't think people would be happy about that. Confidentiality would be an issue. If you could get the right data, the conclusions might be significant, but I suspect it's not going to be easy.
Right.
Have you thought about doing an experiment using animals?
Wouldn't that be upsetting for the children?
Well, the animals don't have to be harmed in any way. It could just be an experiment where they're given a certain diet and the effects are observed.
Would I have to get permission to use animals?
Yes. You'd have to submit an outline of the experiment and fill in a form, but it's quite straightforward.
But if we found out that, say, a particular diet affects the health of animals, the same thing wouldn't necessarily be true for people, would it?
No, that's true. But the findings for any experiment are going to be limited. It's inevitable.
I suppose so. So, what animals could I use to investigate the effects of diet? Mice?
Yes, you'd need experimental mice, ones that have been specially bred for experiments. Okay, so what will your experiment be investigating exactly?
Well, something to do with nutrition. So maybe we could look at food supplements, things like extra iron and extra protein, and their impact on health.
That might be rather broad. Maybe just look at the effects of one supplement, like sugar, on the health of the mice.
In fact, maybe the focus could be on whether mice can control their own diet.
So what happens when they have access to more sugar that they don't really need?
Exactly. Do they eat it, or do they decide to leave it?
Great. Then later on you could do a follow-up experiment adding another variable. Like you could give some of the mice the chance to be more active, running on a wheel or something, and the others just sit around and don't do much.
Or I could repeat the experiment but change the type of food I provided, or use mice with a different genetic structure. But I think your idea would be more interesting. I might think about that some more.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
So, can we talk through a possible procedure for the experiment where mice are given a sugar supplement?
Sure, I did a similar experiment in college actually.
Great. So, how many mice would I need?
I'd say about 12, and all young ones, not a mixture of old and young.
Okay. And I need 2 groups of equal sizes, so 6 in each group. And how would I tell them apart? I suppose I could put some sort of tag on one group, or just mark them in some way.
You could use food colouring, that wouldn't hurt them.
Perfect. Then each group would go into a separate cage, and one group, let's call them Group A, would be the control group. So they'd just have ordinary mouse food. I suppose you can buy that?
Yes, it comes in dry pellets.
And the other group would have the same as the first group, but they'd also have the extra sugar.
Would you just give them straight sugar?
It might be better to give them something like cereal with it.
Then you'd need to weigh the mice, I should think, once a week. And you'd need an electronic balance.
But we can't hold them on the balance, or it'd affect the reading.
Exactly. So you need something called a weighing chamber to stop the mice from running away. It sounds complicated, but actually you can just use a plastic box with holes in the top.
Okay. So once we've measured the weight gain of each mouse, we can work out the average for each group, as well as the standard deviation, and then see where we go from there. That sounds cool. I think the students will enjoy it.
Yes. One thing you must remember.
That is the end of part 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 3. Part 4. You will hear part of an environmental science lecture about microplastics. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
In today's lecture, I'm going to be talking about microplastics.